Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving straight into exactly how businesses can successfully navigate market entry and expansion in Bangladesh through strategic distribution partnerships. Look, if you're an international manufacturer eyeing this region, or even a rapidly growing local company aiming to scale up, you already know that having a killer product is really just the starting line. Actually winning the race? Well, that requires an absolutely airtight distribution strategy.
Here's our roadmap for today's Explainer. 1. The Bangladesh market opportunity. 2. The distribution dilemma. 3. Dealers versus distributors. 4. Avoiding common recruitment mistakes. And 5. The partner selection process. Section 1. The Bangladesh market opportunity. We really have to start right at the top by grasping the sheer scale of the opportunity waiting for us in South Asia. We're talking about a population exceeding 175 million people. And that's not just a big number for the sake of it, right? It represents one of the absolute fastest growing economies in all of Asia. It's fueled by a rapidly expanding middle class that has seriously increasing purchasing power. The country has completely transformed from a garment manufacturing hub into a highly diversified, booming consumer market. Today, Bangladesh is importing billions of dollars worth of machinery, pharmaceuticals, electronics, and everyday consumer products every single year.
But, here's where we hit a bit of a reality check. As this quote perfectly captures, having an excellent product is really only one part of the success equation. Your ultimate success depends on how effectively those products actually reach the customers. The crucial point here is that your world-class product, your brilliant branding, your massive marketing budget, all of it means absolutely nothing if the product cannot physically get to this massive consumer base. Because if your goods aren't sitting on those local shelves or in regional warehouses, customers are just going to switch to competing brands. It's that simple. Section 2. The distribution dilemma. This brings us to a major obstacle. Entering Bangladesh without the right local distribution partners isn't just tough. It's incredibly expensive, super time-consuming, and honestly, highly risky. Whether you're a foreign company trying to break into the market or a local manufacturer trying to expand nationally, you're going to face some intense challenges. First off, you've got to sift through thousands of trading companies. So many of them proudly claim to have nationwide reach, but when you look closer, they completely lack the actual physical infrastructure. Then you have the monumental headache of verifying business credentials. A company might look fantastic on a glossy brochure, but they could have a terrible market reputation or hidden legal disputes just waiting to become your problem. On top of all that, you have to execute really precise territory planning to avoid market conflicts, all while navigating a very relationship-based business culture where local trust is literally an absolute requirement for survival. Section 3. Dealers versus distributors. Before we go any further, we really need to clear up some terminology, because people mix these up all the time. Distributors and dealers are constantly and incorrectly used interchangeably. But understanding the clear separation between the two is the entire foundation of building your network. So a distributor generally buys directly from the manufacturer. They're the ones managing the large warehouses, the fleets of delivery vehicles, the complex inventory systems, and they often extend credit. Think of them as your heavy-lifting logistics engine. Dealers, on the flip side, usually buy from those distributors. Their main focus is retail sales, running product demonstrations, and handling that face-to-face customer service and local marketing. They are the front line. Section 4. Avoiding common recruitment mistakes. Okay, so knowing the difference between your partners is a great start, but how do companies usually mess this up? Let's take a look at some common pitfalls that can completely sabotage long-term growth. The first major error is price shopping over value. That means picking a partner just because they accept the lowest margin, completely ignoring the value of their market knowledge and infrastructure. Another massive mistake is appointing too many distributors with overlapping territories. Do you know what that does? It immediately creates fierce price competition and internal conflicts among your own partners. Combine that with a lack of performance monitoring, ignoring technical product training, and having weak ongoing communication, and you've basically got a perfect recipe for a failed market expansion. Section 5. The partner selection process. Fortunately, you don't have to rely on trial and error to avoid those exact mistakes. Organizations like Trade and Investment Bangladesh use highly structured methodologies to build a robust network. There is just no one-size-fits-all approach here. If you're selling high-value items like medical devices or heavy industrial equipment, an exclusive national distributor is usually your best bet. But if you're moving fast-moving consumer goods or building materials, you really need regional distributors to handle that local volume. For things like electronics or home appliances, a direct dealer network works best.
And honestly, a lot of growing businesses these days are leaning into a hybrid model to get maximum flexibility across different regions.
Once you've chosen your tailored model, this structured 6-step blueprint takes you all the way from your initial market strategy right down to assigning territories and signing the actual contract. It kicks off with a deep market assessment and defining the exact ideal profile of the partner you need. Then comes the really active part, identifying and screening candidates. You can't just passively wait for companies to apply. You have to actively hunt for the best fit, based on strict criteria like their financial strength, their logistics capability, and their geographic coverage.
Now, step 4 in that process, that is arguably the most vital part of the whole shebang. Thorough commercial due diligence is absolutely your shield. It's the critical phase that protects you from companies that might lack the actual financial stability, safe warehouse conditions, or the legal compliance needed to represent your brand properly. Verifying a potential partner's market reputation and creditworthiness before you ever sign a contract reduces your commercial risk tremendously. It basically ensures you're partnering with someone who has true, tested market credibility.
Look, doing all of this right is a complex, resource-heavy process. So by leveraging professional consultants for this end-to-end recruitment process, you're pretty much ensuring a faster market entry, much better partner quality, and sustainable sales performance. A firm like Trade and Investment Bangladesh doesn't just hand you a list of names and wish you luck. They actually facilitate the B2B meetings, they guide the commercial negotiations, help draft those tricky territory agreements, and provide ongoing business advisory. They make sure the partnership thrives long after the ink on the contract is dry.
To wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a final thought about your own expansion strategy. The Bangladesh market is dynamic, it's growing, and it is incredibly hungry for quality products. But market potential alone absolutely does not guarantee commercial success. At the end of the day, it all comes down to the strength of your local partnerships. So ask yourself, is your distribution network robust enough to actually deliver your product to 175 million consumers? Or will your brand just get lost in transit thanks to unverified, underperforming partners? Ultimately, that choice comes down to your recruitment strategy.